All right, you guys want to hear the bluegrass version of Hotel California?
Yeah.
It's just lyrics and lyrics and lyrics. It's just too much to memorize. You couldn't even put it together in your head if you tried to. This is the free bird of bluegrass. On a doctor's highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of clean tires, rolling up to the air. Up ahead in the distance, saw a shimmering light. It grew heavy in my sight and the tune had us out for the night. As she stood in the doorway, the division bell. I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell. But she lit up a candle, and she showed me the way. There were voices down the corridor, thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place. When you're home at the Hotel California, any time of year, you can find it here. Mine is differently twisted. She's got a Mercedes Benz. She's got a lot of pretty boys, and she calls friends. So they dance in the courtyard, sweet song of sweat. Some dance to remember, some dance to forget. So I called up the captain, please bring me my wine. He said, we haven't had that spirit here since 1969. Still I hear the voices going far away, waking up in the middle of the night, just to hear them say, welcome to the Hotel California. I should go on like X Factor, and Simon would be like, you're gonna sing that? Well, go ahead. And then I'd do it, and they're all like, whoa! Have you guys ever noticed that pattern in that show?
So, Gail,
Yeah.
you'll MC now.
Okay.
Okay.
I warmed them up good for you.
Yeah, you did. Caleb's CDs are on sale here, out there at the table with Leah for $10.
Not all at once, all right?
All right. So I'm Wendy Wollett, and I'm the writer and producer, and what else am I? Director of this show. And I just wanted to put in a plug for the entire Fringe Festival. You can get these programs. There's fabulous stuff going on. There goes the sponsors' names. There's fabulous stuff going on, including gingivitis. What's it called? Oh, gingivitis at like, I think 9 or 9:30 tonight in this theater. These guys from Canada. But there's tons of really interesting things in here. This is a Fringe Festival program, and please check it out. So, thanks everybody for coming to the Fringe Festival and the Lost Montana Monologue. There are 60 different live acts, so consult your wonderful programs for more to see. I want to thank Rachel Petite, first of all, for assisting me to produce this show and for her help with the script and for all her talent. And now, if everybody would join me, let's take a moment of silence to honor Robin Williams. Thank you. Please enjoy Lost Montana Monologue and Rachel and Caleb and our great cast.
Well, go find a jukebox and see what a quarter will do. I don't wanna talk. I'm going back to blue.
Hey. Good job.
Feed me when I'm ready. Punch my loves me when I'm lonely always, thinking of me first. sky. Brave out, shining and bright. One shot of blue, that's a name down her back.
What are you playing?
Blue.
They warned me. Blood is thicker than water. But I never follow anyone's advice, well-meaning or otherwise. I like to try out all those old meaningless cliches firsthand. When I finally do bang into the truth after days, months, or years of trying to make the wrong leg fit, I do finally get it. Get it?
Blood relatives.
I-
You went out, honey, yeah.
I think I signed that contract in blood.
Don't you all make $5?
You can't get blood out of a turnip.
Even the common expression, you can lead a horse to blood, but you can't make him drink, makes sense to me now.
I thought I told you, blood relatives always went out.
And he's never gonna leave his wife.
Shakespeare should have coined that phrase. Anyway, there should have been a play. Maybe I'll write the play. After all, I did act it out in real life first. Every painful scene digested and regurgitated like I had 6 stomachs, and then some line cliche like would ambush me in the 3rd act.
Like, don't count your bloody chickens before they hatch.
Like, 2 birds in a hand are worth more than 1 stone? Well, I don't get it. I don't get it.
What you reading, mister? I love Donna Karenina. I love Count Vronsky even better.
Give me my fucking book.
Lana couldn't handle the lessons her life gave her, so she threw herself on Tolstoy's railroad tracks. Now, I'm definitely a drama queen, but I've never had the guts for
You have to drive to Westfish if you really wanted to do it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That train used to go right through Missoula. You could have done it here.
About the top. Maybe the top.
Are you gonna pay for that drink?
Where is my love? Where is my love? Is my love in Helena eating sweet potato pie? Lord knows he won't be telling you. I won't. White lie.
That's a hell of a lot better than what other guitarists I've heard. Of course, they're all performing on the front porches of halfway houses. What is that song?
Where is my love?
Not on that ranch in Helena. I fought a daily obsession with an old Colt 45. Even though I knew no one would care if the housekeeper for Dick to go and blow her head off. I was 45 minutes from town on a landscape of alfalfa fields, ponderosa pine, and bald eagles, and no car. I wanted to shoot myself. Then I took a trip into the Bob Marshall, complete with a string of pack horses and mules. I met Ed on the trail. Yeah, Ed came riding into my life on, believe it or not, beautiful white horse. And he wasn't just any white horse, he was a full-blooded, high-stepping Arabian. Ed called him Sky.
No one rides into anybody else's life. They're just riding.
But I was sure that Ed was, at best, my knight in shining armor, at worst, my ticket off the ranch. My strategy had always worked before. I'd stand in the middle of some guy's trail. He'd notice me. I'd act innocent, and eventually, I'd become an important part of his life. Or at least his sex life.
No work. And I'll play makes Ed a dull boy.
That's the way the Indians used to hunt, you know. They'd hide behind a blind on a well-traveled path, wait patiently, and shoot the deer that regularly took that trail. All right, nature's calling.
You're not going anywhere until I get my $5.
Oh, I gotta pee. The full-blooded Arabian carries a lot of weight with me. Granted, Appaloosas hold big medicine too, in the Indian way. I owned an Appaloosa. I kept it in a stable in Davis, California. Years later, when I was homeless, I slept in a park in that same town. No one came to pick me up at the airport. That's when they served you as many tiny bottles of Jack Daniels as you could drink.
Did I ever tell you the joke about my tiny Jack Daniels Terrier?
No.
He was smaller than a Jack Russell and a lot of fun, but he sure didn't live long. So you're from California?
Should have known by the outfit.
Should've known by your outfit that you are a Californian, by the way that you talk and how money you spend.
Have you noticed? Montanans don't give Californians any credibility. Even if you lived here years and years and years. Even if you've known many a hard winter. Even if you've parked a horse trailer at every trailhead. Even if you complain appropriately about the growing traffic problem. Even if you've mourned each road they've closed as they've closed it and speak with knowledge about the state's absurdly low wages. If you mention you're from California, they'll dismiss you every time.
How long you say you've lived here?
Hey, I know my Montana landscape. Cutting horses, draft horses, ancient barns, crazy people who fund federal buildings.
Did you know they trucked Kaczynski's log cabin all the way to Sacramento for his trial?
Cattle, moose, who follow you in hunting season because they know you don't have a moose tag. Bluebird. Empty trophy homes.
There's one by our little spread. It's the size of Walmart.
10 bars to every church.
Casinos.
Rodeos.
Big money.
You know how to make a small fortune in Montana?
No.
Come with a large one.
Ed sported a long beard just like ZZ Top. But I really fell in love with his horse. You know, the white horse is my totem animal.
You got a totem animal?
Yeah, a pack horse.
A jackalope.
So there I was in the middle of his trail. And I sent out these smoke signals of desperation, seduction, and fear. And he got off his white horse and rescued me. I knew he would. A few months later, Ed left his wife, who he said he never slept with anyway.
That's what they all say.
A few months later, we were living together.
When that iceberg hit, well, they must have known. God moves on the water like Casey Jones. So I went downtown on my telephone, took a lazy turn down the red-eye zone. Was a five-man bill, $2 show with a man out front from Idaho. Girl passed out in the backseat trash. Ain't no way that they made even a half a tank of gas. Hey, it was the 14th day of April.
Then one fall day, its old friend Hank showed up. My heart sunk. I told him Ed was gone to get his hunting permit. Hank eyed me with one good eye, asked me for a drink, and when I gave it to him, he grabbed me. "I know you! What you doing here?" he said. "Where's Ed's wife?" I pushed him away. He pulled out his gun. Then he stomped out to the porch. I recognized Hank, the outfitter who'd taken us into the Bob Marshall. I grabbed a box of Franzia wine, climbed out the back window, and hid behind the bar. I could see Hank cleaning his gun. Then Ed got home. 2 hours later, they were still on the porch finishing their second bottle. That night, Ed told me Hank warned him. "Watch out for that one. Everybody knows she's crazy." The honeymoon was over. So I made Ed a stronger drink and took him to bed.
Could you water this down?
I still haven't seen my $5.
Ed liked an early times ditch. Me, I like black Russians, white Russians, Ramos fizzes, with the egg or without, tequila sunrises, margaritas with the salt or without, Jack Daniels.
Woof, woof.
rum and coke, rum not in coke. Screwdrivers, white wine, red wine, wine coolers, wine spritzers, wine daiquiris, regular daiquiris. My drinks have to be sweet. No beer for me unless there's absolutely nothing else around. Sometimes I'd even switch from scotch to brandy.
Or from Butch to Randy.
Birds of a feather get fucked up together.
Woo! Living with Ed, gambling the grocery money, stealing the neighbor's Sunday newspaper, and hanging out in the casinos. When I get home, I'd have my wine. Wine before dinner. Wine in dinner. Wine during dinner. Wine after dinner. Sherry for dessert.
Just warming up.
When his wife came to visit, I'd disappear.
She'd bring the grandkids over.
I heard she continued to cut his hair.
Didn't they help her build her new house?
I know he gave his wife money when she needed it.
And she did drive the good car.
I overlooked these annoyances, mainly because it was Ed's ranch. He was, after all, holding all the cars.
52 pickup.
It was hard living with Ed. We lived in the same house he and his wife had shared. So we were overloaded with bad memories and ghosts. I was even allergic to the cat she'd left. My ghosts were in Ed's storage shed. My high school yearbooks, my family's photos, my 2 wedding albums, even the book I wrote. I know I missed a high school reunion when I was with Ed. Well, I just couldn't show up.
Make it down, ballad on your floor. Make it down, ballad on your floor. Make it down, ballad soft and long. When I'm broken, I got no words. I'm up in the country after my singing song. I'll be up when I come through the singing song. Up the country through the singing song. Just that road. Don't you let my good girl get you. Don't you let my good girl get you. Cause she'll beat you, she'll kill and rob you too. Deep down is what that girl do.
I quit drinking the first time right before hunting season. Ed and I were up in the trees getting firewood. Ed had the chainsaw cutting a big log down the sides. I was supposed to hold the log, but it slipped out of my hands. Somehow Ed lost hold of the chainsaw, and it cut off the tips of 2 of his fingers. There was blood all over the place. I found Ed's fingertips and put them in my pocket. Then I bandaged his hand up with rags, and we rushed back to town. There was blood all over the truck, all over Ed, and all over me, and it was my fault.
Caught red-handed.
The doc sewed his fingertips back on. I thought Ed wouldn't have the wherewithal to hunt that year, but he did, and I went with him. Ed was an old-fashioned, hard-working stalker. I never saw the cow elk he shot until I heard the crack of his rifle. Then I saw her massive body collapse into the deadfall. Somehow the big creature had stayed ahead of us the whole day, hiding behind the tall, thin lodge poles, as Ed followed her tracks in the snow. I got down on my knees beside her body. I held her heavy head and said a silent prayer. Then I pushed snow into the poor animal's mouth. I told Ed the Indians used to do this, to quench the animal's thirst and help it on its way to the happy hunting ground.
Sounds like Hollywood to me.
The elk was beautiful. I hugged her neck. Then I pushed my fingers deep into her thick fur. Even with that lucky ivory tooth in the company of her beastly blood brothers, I watched as the November snow soaked up her warm red blood.
That's a winter's worth of meat.
Hunting's disgusting. Stinking gut piles. Trucks full of carcasses. Stacks of antlers. Braggarts in the bars.
You should have seen the big one that got away.
The history books are full of carnage. Mountains of vikings. Dead bison stripped of their hides, meat rotting in the sun. Hundreds and hundreds of wagons laden with dead grouse, dead mule deer, dead whitetail, dead antelope, dead coyotes, dead wolves, dead elk, heads lolling over the wooden wagon sides. Guns in their hands, smiles on their faces, and blood on their trousers.
My man dresses them out in the barn and leaves his bloody trousers there.
Ed went to get the truck. I stayed with the elk and watched her as she slowly turned stiff. Then I looked at the blood on my hands. Was I living Ed's life or mine?
Where is my love? Where is my love? Is my love in Tupelo? Whistling down the blues, knowing things that he shouldn't know, and giving away things he don't use.
In the spring, my mom called. She said my father was dying. I took the Greyhound bus to Lodi to see him in the nursing home. On the way there, I was carrying an apple on the bus when the bus hit something on the road. The knife plunged into my palm. Blood gushed from my hand. By the time I got to Lodi, my dad was dead. I couldn't feel a thing.
Sounds like it was as bad as it was going to get.
Well, I laid out late one night when the morning stars were shining bright. But it's
Well, I'm gonna get hot water if I don't get home.
tell you boys I was walking,
Here's $5.
waterbound on a stranger's shore, river rising to my door, carried me down to the field below. I was walking bound, nowhere to go. So I called my name on an old barn wall, and no one would know I was there at all. The stables dry on a winter's night, and if I turned my head, I could see the light. There's a black cat calling on a road boxcar. There's a rusted door and a fallen star. I ain't got a dime in my ration sack. There's some water bound and I can't get back.
I had my last drink at Dad's funeral. When I came back to Montana, the ranch felt alien. Ed felt alien. I was somebody else.
The jig was up.
You know, Shakespeare never did write a play about a man who leaves his wife.
But he wrote Taming of the Shrew.
He covered mad fathers, melancholy sons, disappointed daughters, disloyal mothers, and
A king who gouged his eyes out.
maybe that was enough blood.
Billy told me there's a pilot in the sky waiting for me when I die. But between the day you're born and when you die, they never even seem to hear you cry. sun will shine. I'm gonna get my share now of what's mine. And the harder they come, the harder they fall, one on. Yeah, the harder they come, the harder they fall, one on.
I left it. I sold everything. I moved to Missoula. I even wrote a posthumous letter to my dad to let him know I was okay. I made a point to become friends with my mother. When I was in high school, she read my diary and called the police. I gave up married men. It's hard work, cutting my own trail. But I'm trying to be a better human being than I was. Anyway, so maybe I'll buy a horse in Appaloosa or a white Arabian like Sky. Hey, have you ever read that book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus? If that book were true, men and women would never meet at all.
Says who?
I mean, the guy who wrote it got a divorce. And what self-respecting woman would ever be caught dead on a blood red planet anyway? Hey, maybe I'll buy a blood red robe.
I saw one for sale on Blood Ranch Road.
What do you think, mister? Oh, Ed! Have you been sitting there all this time? I've always wanted to tell you I'm sorry I pawned those cowboy boots you got for Christmas.
It's okay, you bought them back. Are you still doing your artsy fartsy stuff?
Yeah.
And this is it? Well, break a leg, buckwheat.
Oh, make it down right on the floor. Get down right on the floor. Get down, that's all. So back to the Hotel California and then finish this up. Yeah. Do that one. Yeah, I'll play something more. Yeah, that's the best one.